guys, comment down below. Comment whose bracket is the best.
Yeah, please.
I already know you want to say John, but just put it in the comments.
Be unbiased.
The last 2 seasons, I picked the winner.
Wait, no, because you the last year you said Cowboys.
No, I said Chiefs.
I think he did.
See how he's trying to twist it up?
Wait,
You had the
wait,
Cowboys.
hold on.
Such a liar.
No,
Yeah, I know.
you had
He said
the
Chiefs.
dude. There's no
All right,
way.
chat.
There's no way. I'm gonna
Thank you
go
for
check.
tuning in.
I'm going. You want to end this? You want to end it now?
Straight to the action, there's a lot going on. Trying to lock these predictions down, right? Call me John. I'ma talk to Jared, cause he might keep me calm. Had my top pick for this week, but he bombed. Caleb said he had a weak week, but he's strong. Jonathan said he repeat, now it's on. In love with the game, who you got, cannot wait. Drop by the dorm, come and watch, it's the babe.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dorm Debate Podcast, and welcome to our playoff episode. It's one of our favorite episodes of the whole year, our most viewed episode of the whole year, and we are so pumped to do this. Our bracket challenge, we do it every year. Each one of us fills out a bracket. We see who's correct. And look, we got everyone on hand. Finally. I mean, it's been a long time. We took a Christmas break. We took Thanksgiving break. I mean, I feel like Caleb, you've been gone for the longest. How's it feel to be back?
I missed you guys dearly. I've missed this. I've been bursting at the seams with takes, and I miss talking to you guys and having the outlet. So I'm happy to be back between holidays, and I was a little sick, so thankfully I'm better and ready to go. I'm excited. I'm always so genuinely curious at the playoff brackets we each create because we see things so differently. Mm-hmm. And yet I'm pretty confident in mine, so we'll see.
And I've seen all the brackets. I had to create the graphic for it, and we got some diversity. I think we got some diversity in the first couple of rounds, but then you see some familiarity in the final and the Super Bowl and stuff. So without further ado, let's just get right into it. Does anybody want to go first?
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay, so Jonathan's going to be showing his bracket first.
It's gotta be a three-peat.
Here we go. All right, 3, 2, 1, sent.
Okay.
Oh, I know you too well.
The repeat was expected.
I can't
The
believe
Broncos
this.
over the Bills?
Yeah, I can't believe this, man.
Oh, you are
y'all
such
see
a
them?
hater.
Hey,
That's a little biased.
They're looking sharp. They're hot towards the end of the season. They're hot right now. I think they're gonna surprise a lot of people this weekend. You guys will see.
All right, well, take it away.
Okay.
For your bracket.
Okay, so Broncos versus the Bills. I am selecting the Broncos. The Denver Broncos are ready for this. They can play in the cold. They're disciplined. They have a good coach. They have the receivers that can make plays. They have a great defense. They have a quarterback that doesn't make mistakes. This team looks very polished. And again, you have to look at teams that get hot towards the playoffs. Denver is a hot team right now. They have things figured out. They don't make mistakes. Believe me, if Josh Allen fumbles or makes one of his annual playoff mistakes, they're gonna suffer because Denver Broncos don't make mistakes. They have a great coach. I think they're gonna surprise a lot of people. The Bills better come ready to play, or else this team is gonna surprise them. This rookie quarterback, Bo Nix, will surprise them. So I have the Denver Broncos because they're looking really good, guys. Then Steelers and Ravens. Ravens are dominant, so I have Ravens. Chargers and Texans. This is gonna be a really good match, but I think Chargers fans will realize that a new coach didn't really do anything in terms of making more further in the playoffs.
Are you serious?
Texans, CJ Stroud and the boys are going to the next round. Okay. And so should I just do one side?
Yeah, go to the other side first.
Okay.
The other side. So wild card, Green Bay Packers and the Eagles. Okay. This is gonna be another good. This is gonna be another good match. And I know what the Packers did to the Cowboys last season. I know, but I still think the Eagles will be able to squeak it through. Even though some people say Jalen Hurts may be questionable to play, I still think the Eagles are gonna pull it through. Commanders and Bucks. Commanders gonna upset the Bucks. I think Jaden Daniels, he's gonna put on a show, and people are gonna realize why he's gonna be Rookie of the Year. Vikings and Rams, another good match, and this was a tough one for me because I know how the Vikings choke in the playoffs. But I'm still gonna lean towards the Vikings in this match. I think they'll finally be able to make it to the second round. So that's what I have. Now back to the AFC. Broncos versus Chiefs. That's gonna be good.
Yeah, but you don't think Broncos are gonna want revenge?
Broncos gonna want revenge, and usually every time they play, I don't know if you guys notice, every time they play, it's pretty close. So it's gonna be a good close match, but Chiefs are gonna win.
Wait, why would the Broncos want revenge?
Well, they lost. Remember, the Chiefs beat them because they blocked the kick
Yeah.
at the last
Oh,
second.
you're talking about the
In
last
Denver,
game,
yeah.
with, like the last. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, they just beat them 30.
Yeah,
The Broncos are a
that
good
one
squad.
didn't count. Yeah.
But yeah, they want like against the starter. Okay, that is interesting. That's an interesting narrative.
Yeah, and they play the Chiefs competitively every time they play, so that's gonna be a
Good
good
point.
one. But Chiefs are gonna win, I think. Then Texans and Ravens. Ravens gonna win, but that will be another
the
interesting
Ravens, the Ravens beat them on Christmas by like 30.
matchup. Yeah,
It was 31-2 or something.
yeah. I mean, this is
That
playoffs.
game
Things are
won't be
different.
close.
You don't think so? Well, the Ravens gonna beat the Texans, okay. And so the other side, Packers. Sorry, Commanders and Lions. Lions are just icy hot. Okay. And then you have the Eagles and Vikings. This is going to be really good, but I'm going to have to lean towards the Eagles because the Vikings, we know they choke. I even was a little scared pushing them in the second round, but there's no way I'm going to push them to the next round. So Eagles going to win. So Eagles and Lions, and then Chiefs and Ravens for the AFC, NFC championships. Okay.
Okay.
It's a rematch of last year with the Chiefs and Ravens. Chiefs are still going to win. Lamar is not going to be able to throw the ball. He's going to get exposed again, and people are going to complain. Chiefs are going to win. Okay, Chiefs will go back to the Super Bowl. Congrats. Then you have Lions and Eagles, 1 versus 2. Okay, 1v2. That's what I like to see. The Lions are going to win this, guys. If Lions don't win this, maybe somebody had to get hurt or something, but Lions, I can't imagine a team in the NFC stopping this offense. I just I can't fathom that.
Well,
I can't fathom.
Eagles have one of the best defenses. You can do it.
They have too many pieces. Gibbs, Williams,
Amon-Ra,
Laporta. There's nobody stopping this team. Yeah, I mean, on the NFC at least, there's nobody stopping this team.
On the NFC.
Okay. Yeah. So in terms of the Super Bowl, you have the Chiefs versus the Lions. Now
Okay.
this is going to be an offensive battle. Okay. And the Chiefs play to who they play to the level of who they play against, right? So sometimes it's low scoring games. Sometimes it can be high scoring games. I think this is going to be one of those classic, high scoring Chiefs games. Remember that game, Rams versus Chiefs? This is going to be one of those things where it's going to be offensive battle, score. Because the Lions are going to score points. And in order for the Chiefs to win, they're going to have to score a lot of points because the Lions aren't going to stop. And I as good as the Chiefs defense is in the playoffs, again, this Lions team is just too dominant on offense. I just can't think of anybody that can really stop them. So it's going to come down to some luck and a lot of points from Mahomes and the Chiefs. But I still think the Chiefs will be able to squeak through. But it will be a close game.
But the Chiefs have played so many one-score games this season. Like,
They have.
They
played to the level. They played to the level.
So why do you think they're going to be able to? I mean, they're going to have to beat Broncos again. Not going to be easy. Ravens and Lions, like that's not easy.
They're good. There's a reason why they only lost one game. They're good at playing the team. They don't worry about trying to blow them out. They play the game to burn out the clock. Just do enough to win the game. That's what they've done in the regular season. But I do think there's a lot of tricks up their sleeves they've been keeping in the back pocket that they haven't revealed yet. I think the Chiefs are good at doing that. I think you'll start to see more surprise plays and stuff in the playoffs. So
they've been coasting the whole season.
Yeah.
They've been coasting. They have not exerted any extra energy at all.
I don't know if they agree with you. I agree with that. They say what you're saying, that they go to the level of their opponent. On the other hand, they don't really go past like 22, 25 points. So if it's a shootout,
they've never scored 30.
But if they need to, they will.
If they need to, they'll do it. Andy Reid's gonna adopt some. He has so much plays. It'll make a head spin. He's ready. They're ready.
That's my counterpoint. Is like they don't, if it's over like that amount, then it's like we haven't seen that part of them. If they win the one score game, if it's more than because if they're winning at like 20-ish points, that's 2 to 3 scores. Like compared to some of the shootouts we've seen where it's like 40s, that's like 5 different chances to turn the ball. You know what I mean? Like is the number of end zone or field goals. I wonder with the Chiefs, but then it's also, I mean, I agree with you because Spagnuolo, they're gonna go after Goff. They're gonna know how to get to him.
Dude, Spagnuolo versus Ben Johnson.
It's
OC
gonna be
for the Lions. That's gonna be
Well,
It'll be a chess match.
we all know that it's gonna come down to like some fourth down that
A
Dan
blitz.
Campbell's gonna have to go.
Well, Lions are gonna, Chiefs are gonna blitz. Is gonna be like, what? We're not expecting this. And,
Yeah, it's gonna get out.
That's
It's
what
gonna come down
Chiefs
to
do
coaching.
every time, and
Oh,
it's
yeah.
so no team counts for like a critical down to win the game.
Oh, yeah.
They blitz. What?
This is where you're gonna see the experience.
That's what it
Andy
feels
Reid
like.
And Spagnuolo, you're gonna see the experience. This is when
Yeah.
it comes down to those small little things. And
Those
so that's why I think the
tricks.
Chiefs win.
Maybe the trick plays on defense that fool the Lions.
I have one glaring issue with this bracket.
Okay.
Could you explain the Texans win over the Chargers? Just explain that to me.
Jared.
Well, I mean, now that I think of it, the Chargers have been playing pretty good towards the end of the season.
And the Texans haven't been playing good.
That's a good point to mention.
Do you think it'll be close or is not close at all?
I think it'll be close.
Okay,
but
at
I
least-
think
at least
Chargers
give
will,
me that.
the Chargers will find a way to lose the game.
That's
Are
the
you
reason.
It's as simple as
No, it's a fair reason. It's just
It's
funny.
a new coaching regime.
Yeah, it's new.
Like
it's new coaches.
Staley's gone. Like, do you think even if we won that, could we win against like in the next round?
No way. No. Even if you do win that, they're not there yet.
You're gonna have to.
Yeah.
You know.
You're building, but you're not there yet. You're not there yet. I don't think you can't depend on that. What's that guy, Quentin Johnston? He's been,
Yeah, no, you
I
can't
would
depend on.
I would
that.
consider McConkey the rookie.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
he's
don't know
good.
if he's
good.
officially the number one, but I
He's
mean,
reliable.
like you're saying though, I mean, I wonder. Well, because the Texans lost Diggs, right, and they lost no, they have Colin. Like I wonder if the wide receivers kind of are closer than we give them credit for. Although
Yeah.
McConkey's just a rook. I mean, but like you're saying, the depth at wide receiver is not as deep, but it's still. Is it comparable? You know, maybe we see a shootout
Yeah,
there.
low key. Yeah, they kind of are comparable. I mean, Nico is a dog.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like he probably is better than
Oh.
Ladd and Johnson
Oh, so
combined.
I
Harbaugh's
forgot about
going.
Dell. Okay.
Tank
Yeah.
Dell's
Tank Dell's out.
Yeah, he's out. Oh, dang.
So it's
Honestly,
Mix-
I may have made a
they
mistake.
still have mixed
accounting for injuries, but right. Then
I may
Mixon's
have made a
going
mistake.
on.
I'm not gonna lie. I may have made a mistake on that.
Oh,
Made a
okay.
mistake.
Oh.
Chargers could win. I could see.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
We have a
Chargers
chance.
are locked in, but we have it on record that you are aware.
We have a little bit of doubt in a breath.
We have an
Okay.
asterisk.
That's
for
why I wanted
Jonathan
to pull.
on the
That's why I
Chargers.
wanted to ask.
That's what we
just
debate
wanted to
for.
we just
And
wanted
we're-
to make sure that you were accounting for everything.
And we're willing to admit when we're wrong.
Hey,
we're locking in
so,
Chargers,
dude,
but we have it on
Do you want
record.
to
that
reconsider the Chiefs winning now?
That's like
that's a lot.
that's done deal, dude. I'm surprised you had the Eagles going that far.
Yeah,
to be
me
honest,
too.
I thought you'd have them losing
What?
early.
Why?
I mean, they have the
he-
playoff experience in the past couple of years.
Okay.
If Hurts comes back, it's no brainer. But I think
he
he's
is.
still struggling.
He is,
Okay.
yeah.
I think
Okay.
you're right. It's
Optimistic.
questionable, but I think like today he was practicing. I could be wrong,
Okay.
but you're not wrong in
Okay.
including that as a factor. But yeah, I think he'll be okay.
All right. Well, anything else you want to say about your bracket before we head on? We'll do my bracket next.
Yeah, I want to say, Jared, you can put an asterisk next to my bracket once you post it that I said Chargers are probably going to win against the Texans.
Well,
I
no,
think
you.
My
either
hand
gotta
slipped.
no, whoa.
That changes the whole bracket.
There's
doesn't
no
it?
such thing as a hand. Yeah, that. Well, no, it doesn't.
Well, then I can lose. Whoever wins that's going to lose the next round.
They're gonna
Yeah.
lose to the Ravens anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So but I still think.
Wait,
the Chargers
so
made a
are
mistake
you?
there.
Wait, hold on. Are you actually changing it?
Yeah, we
Or-
can do
or
an
are you just-
audible.
Okay.
Because you can't just leave the bracket like that and then tell everybody,
So-
I think
okay.
the Chargers
What's
are
your final
probably
answer?
gonna win.
All right.
Like you got,
check. Chargers. Chargers.
Okay.
Look at the Chargers.
okay,
We'll
so
update the
Chargers.
graphic. Little bloop. Right there.
Update.
Okay.
Fair,
So
fair
we'll
play.
swap that out. We'll swap
I'm just
that
kidding.
out.
I'm joking.
Wait,
I
you're
would do
kidding? You're kidding about kidding?
This is what John does.
that. I'm joking.
You're joking about
Wait,
what?
so who you Texans?
Who's your final answer?
You never know.
Whoever ends up winning is who you want. is who you
Exactly.
thought. Okay.
Okay.
Got it.
We're keeping Texans because you're from Houston.
Oh no, fine.
Oh no.
It's what you submitted, but I'll concede an asterisk as that you got information and was willing to adjust your opinion.
Yeah,
That's
but no,
weird.
it's still Texans. That was your gut. You got to stick with your gut.
No, all right, Chargers. I was just kidding. Chargers. No, I am. I'm being serious.
No,
Chargers. No, for real. Chargers. Chargers is my
right.
final answer.
Everybody, for the listeners, if he says when we end the podcast, if he says I was just kidding about that, we'll let you know in the comments.
right.
Because he might change by that.
So officially,
This one game.
officially Chargers over Texans for.
Yes.
Okay.
If the Texans
All
win,
right.
I'm gonna be so. Oh, whoa. See, guys, this is what I'm talking about.
I'm joking. Chargers.
Wait, hold on.
Enough.
Let me see your fingers. Are they crossed?
You're crossing my toes.
Yeah.
What difference would it make? Yeah.
Take your. We're not gonna get naked.
I'm kidding.
It doesn't even matter.
Jared, do you
All
want to
right.
go? This is
I'll go
Chargers
with my
debate.
bracket.
Yeah,
So,
I wonder if you had the Chargers.
3,
He has
2,
the Chargers
1.
winning it all. That's why.
I wonder. Would
Bracket.
Jared do that?
Bracket has been sent.
Let's see.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Jonathan's a smart man. Smart man.
Nice.
Oh my gosh, you guys have the same Super Bowl and same winner.
Okay. That's fair.
I think it's about time. I think
It's about time. What, the Chiefs win?
no,
Win every year.
that I picked the Chiefs as the winner for once.
That's why I'm not gonna pick
if
the
it
Chiefs.
doesn't happen, then it's perfect. I'm gonna keep picking them every year.
Never bet against Mahomes.
Yeah. Broncos, Bills, Ravens, Steelers, Ravens, Chargers, Texans, obviously. Chargers.
You have
Okay.
any like reasonings for any of these?
Yeah.
Just like firing them off.
So the ones that I
Like a
don't
Funko.
say anything are all obvious. Like,
Okay,
I'm
so
not
all the
concerned.
entire AFC guys.
no,
completely obvious.
no. Chargers, Texans.
Oh, okay.
Big thing here for me. Texans have a very high throw attempts per game, and they have a low QBR. High attempts, low QBR. Stroud is 24th in QBR. And the Chargers have number 1 in scoring defense, but also 13th best in opponent completion percentage. So they're very good at keeping that percentage down low. I think it's going to be low scoring with the Chargers. It always is. But the fact that Stroud is going to have to throw more to a defense that is very good in pass coverage, I think is going to be trouble for the Texans, along with only having really Nico Collins to throw to and to really have a main target. And that doesn't bode well for teams going to the playoffs. If you have one major guy, normally they're going to shut him down, especially with Jesse Minter, who is a former Michigan guy. He's pro at being able to limit big plays and shut down receivers because he had to do it against Ohio State twice. So he's very experienced with that. And Jim Harbaugh's undefeated against CJ Stroud.
Oh.
Anybody realize that? I mean,
Oh.
so yeah, I think he's 3-0 against him or 2-0 against him. I think 2-0, but he's never lost to him. So he knows better than anybody, and Jesse knows how to beat CJ Stroud. Who knows him better than Harbaugh and Jesse Minter? So this is perfect. And today is Wednesday, January 8th. It's the 1-year anniversary of Michigan winning the national title in Houston NRG Stadium. So a little bit of a homecoming for Harbaugh. He's already 1-0 in that stadium, so seems perfect.
He has experience there. He'll feel comfortable
He has
on the
experience
sidelines.
in playoff atmosphere in NRG Stadium. So
Okay.
those are my reasons for the Chargers. Next, Green Bay and the Eagles. I know Packers won as a 7th seed last year, but I think they kind of have stumbled going into the finish line, going into this playoff. Last year, they were kind of on a roll going into the playoffs. This is doing the opposite. I'm not even worried about them. Eagles, Washington, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This one's a very good one. Very, very good one. My heart goes with the Commanders and Jaden Daniels, but the stats also back that up. The Bucs. So I basically, when I did this first round, I had about 6 stats that I really wanted to highlight for each team.
Okay.
Opponent completion percentage, I mentioned that before. Scoring defense, also mentioned that. Takeaways per game. So those were the 3 I had for defense. Then when you go to the offense, I took a look at QBR, yards per game for their top receiver, and quarterback throw attempts per game, or overall for the season. So those 6, I really wanted to see where did these teams land. The Bucks did not go above the benchmark, which was above 15th and 12th in a couple of these stats. So if you're not 15th or above in some of these stats or 12th above, then you didn't hit the benchmark. They didn't hit the benchmark in any. They were so bad in every single stat line. They didn't show great defense. They didn't show great offense. The only thing they were high in is attempts. They were 5th in throwing attempts. So let's take a look at the Commanders. Opponent completion percentage, they are 5th best. So a team like the Bucks, not good defensively, but also a low QBR with high passing attempts against a top 5 defense does not bode well for you. I think the Commanders go with this one. The Bucks are 2nd highest in blitz rate. They're going to blitz them often, but Jaden Daniels is the best, well, not the best, but 6th best against the blitz. Nothing works out for the Bucks here. This is one of my most confident upsets of the whole first round.
Wow.
Vikings Rams. I have Rams mainly because Rams were above my benchmark in those 6 stats in every single category. They beat the Vikings already in LA around week 7 or 8. And in that win, the Vikings had 0 sacks, even though they blitz 47.9% of the time. And you know what happens when you blitz and you don't get home? Receivers are open. Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. Demarcus Robinson had a touchdown in that game. He's going to be open. So I just don't think that there is going to be any hope for this Vikings team. That's another one I am very confident in. And as we go into the Chargers-Chiefs, unfortunately, my PTSD, Chiefs over Chargers. I would love the Chargers, but Chiefs. And then Bills and Ravens. This is going to be a really tough one, a really close one. I could go either way here. You could sway me either way. I just think Josh Allen will have something to prove to win the MVP over Lamar. A lot of people are saying, oh, Lamar should win it. As a person who hasn't won the MVP, Josh Allen will have more to prove than a reigning 2-time Lamar Jackson MVP. So that's why I think Josh Allen's going to get that edge. And playing in Buffalo. Playing in Buffalo is very tough. Chiefs beat them last year, but that's the Chiefs, so I don't know if the Ravens could really beat Josh Allen in Buffalo. Over to Washington and the Lions. I got the Lions. Offense is too much. And Eagles, Rams. I got the Rams. This one hurts because in preseason I had Ravens,
I heard
Eagles.
Yeah.
What?
You said this one hurts, and I was like, well, you talking about the quarterback? I'm like,
I didn't
then
mean
you
to do that.
cut off your
mean
point. Then I realized the wording. Yeah.
I didn't mean to do that, but yeah, no. In the preseason, like I predicted Ravens, Eagles, and so I kind of wanted to do that again.
Yeah, why
but
not?
then I think the Eagles do satisfy all my criterias,
Okay.
and there's really nothing wrong with them statistically.
Okay.
But
This is like you're breaking up with, like, there's nothing wrong with you. It's
Caleb's like, oh, okay, why though?
Yeah.
I don't get it.
I'm worried that the Eagles' woes in the beginning of the season on defense, particularly in the passing game, are going to come back around when you're facing Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua. Tyler Higbee's back. Kyron Williams in the passing game. I'm worried. I'm worried about that. And I'm worried about Barkley's production in the playoffs. He's only been to the playoffs twice, or he had 2 games, but one playoff appearance. And I just don't know if he's going to show up, you know?
Do you remember when Eagles played the Rams this season, and Barkley had 235 rushing yards.
No
He's going to
question.
be able to show
Thank
up.
you,
again.
John.
No,
I mean,
no question. People show up in the regular season.
Oh,
this
come
is
on,
a different
John.
game.
it's the
This
same
is a-
team, though.
Yeah, it's
And
the same
no,
team.
it's honestly the same way that I didn't mention it, but Derrick Henry in the postseason, terrible in the postseason. He only has 4 or 5.
He's never been on the Ravens, though.
I know. On the
Okay,
Titans, it's
never
kinda,
been on the Ravens,
Yeah,
but
you're
as a
always
player,
on the Titans when
as
they
a
could just
player-
shut down him. And then,
Yeah.
they were a number 1 seed and they got bounced first round. So
Well, we
he
knew.
doesn't.
Yeah,
how
I
much
mean,
of an
everybody knew.
impact do I view these running backs? Not a lot. So
we still have AJ Brown, Smitty, Goddard, Hurts. as a
AJ
mobile
Brown
threat.
and Hurts, I don't know. There's
What?
some drama there. I
We
just
hit all
don't
your
s-
stats.
I just don't see a winning.
We've beat the
team.
Rams before.
Yeah, in the regular season, the Rams are completely different in the postseason. They're completely different.
Jared.
They've won a Super Bowl. They have Super Bowl winning head
We've
coach.
beat it
Super Bowl-
too.
No, you didn't. You have
Well,
nobody
let's-
from that
let's-
team. Who do you have that won a Super Bowl?
Man.
Who's left?
What do you
Who's
mean? Our
left?
offensive line? Johnson?
Okay, an offensive tackle. Okay, one guy.
One of maybe the best in the league.
You have a quarterback and a head coach. Quarterback change. Head coach is different. Receivers are all different. Tight ends is different. Whole defense is basically different.
I
Brandon
think you just
Graham's
don't
out.
like the Eagles.
I'm just. This is how I felt. I mean, I don't. I know statistically it looks great, but how
No,
much of
they
an
match
impact?
up well. I feel like your feelings are biasing you from your benchmarks.
No, not at all. Not at all. I think once you go through the first round, you have to kind of look at matchups. And I like this matchup for the Rams because the Eagles early in the season weren't great in the pass defense, and this is all they do is pass for the Rams. And I just don't know if they're going to continue a hot streak when Jalen Hurts has been in and out of the lineup. Him and A.J. Brown have been, I don't know, it's all weird stuff. Sirianni's still wondering if he's a great coach. I take Sean McVay over Sirianni. I take Stafford over Hurts. You know, this is where it starts to pile up for me with the matchup. So the Rams, I have beating the Eagles. Going over to the Chiefs-Bills, I got Chiefs and Lions-Rams. I have Lions. It'll be a little homecoming for Stafford yet again, but yet again he will fall short. And then I have Chiefs, Lions in the Super Bowl. And like Jonathan said, I got the Chiefs winning that one. Everybody knows that they're the best, and this is a dynasty. And as much as it frustrates me, I kind of want to be right for once, so I'm going to pick them. And if they lose, then I'll keep picking them for the sake of everybody that watches football. I'll keep picking the Chiefs every year so that they keep losing. But I just don't see how this team loses. They like I said before, they coasted this year. They did not even try. They barely won just enough. They put just enough effort in to win these close games, and the playoffs are going to come, and they're going to spank everybody. And it's going to be so frustrating because I feel like I've seen the same playoffs 3 years in a row. So it's really dumb, but unfortunately, Chiefs are going to win.
So,
Annoying.
well, one thing I have, Jared, for you. Do you think that takeaways are important?
Takeaways. Yeah, takeaways per game.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one of your stats, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I have such a good stat for you. There has been no team in
here we
NFL
go.
history to win a Super Bowl with less than 22 takeaways in a game or in a season. The Chiefs are under 22 takeaways this season.
Doesn't
that
matter,
means
they're
the Chiefs
13th.
statistically cannot win the
I'll
Super Bowl.
match your statistic with another statistic.
No, guys, I'm
can't.
telling you, no
They
team
beat
in
the
NFL
threshold.
history
They
has
beat
won
the
the Super Bowl
threshold.
without 22 takeaways.
Did you say the same thing about white jerseys?
No. Well, that's not 100%.
Yeah,
it's close
white
to
jerseys
it.
was a
But,
majority, but not 100%.
yeah.
That's crazy. From the beginning of NFL time, Super Bowl time, there's never been.
Since the Super Bowl was created.
Yeah.
So since the merger,
Yeah.
there's been no team to win a Super Bowl with less than 22 takeaways in a season. The Chiefs have less than that, guys. They're
With an
a
extra
team
game,
that they
too.
don't. Yeah, they don't take the ball away. Their defense.
That's not true. That's not true. They beat. They're above.
There's
they're
no
above
team that's
half,
win-
and they're 13th in takeaways. You only need to be above 15.
No.
to make,
And there's no
What
team.
are the
Yeah, but
lines on
no.
that?
How many?
did they
How
test?
many? How many
yeah.
takeaways?
it doesn't matter how many.
I just
all
said it
relative to
does.
the season.
Yes, it does.
It beat you meet the threshold
It is
of the
like,
season.
there's been no team that's three-peated.
Exactly. So they
team
can't
Yeah.
do it.
They have
There's
to
been no
make-
team
yeah.
that's done it.
You guys know what team has the least giveaways? Meaning least fumbles, least interceptions.
Bills.
The Bills. And
Bills.
now, to be fair to the Chiefs, in terms of outperforming relative to takeaways, they're tied for fourth with 14, tied with the Rams. But Bills are like dramatically an 8. And I think Chargers would be 9. Just an interesting thing,
John, do you want to go next?
Sure.
Okay.
Leave Caleb for last.
Okay.
I know who John's gonna pick. John's gonna pick the Lions. I know very well.
Let's reveal John's
I don't know.
playoff bracket.
I want to say the Chiefs, but the way you've been arguing,
Oh! You argued
wow.
with me the whole time, and then you put him in.
Well,
yeah,
all,
I mean,
all they have to do is win 2 games.
Oh, now it's only 2 games.
Jonathan, I predicted your Super Bowl. You predicted mine. So good on you.
Yeah, that's first.
All right,
That's great.
let me go through this. It's going to be pretty easy, guys. This is a pretty good bracket because Bills playing the Broncos. Jonathan, you're right. Broncos are going to keep this a lot closer than people think. But the Broncos are not a good road team. So this season, the Broncos are actually 5 of their 7 losses have come on the road. They're going to go to Buffalo. Like I said, it's going to be a close game, but at the end of the day, Bills are going to win that game. Steelers, Ravens, I'm a little bit worried because the Steelers did beat them earlier in the season, but come playoffs, Ravens will have their entire team. They're going to be trying. So Bills, Ravens are going to win. And then Chargers, honestly, I'm not even worried about this game. Chargers are going to easily win. Have you guys watched the Texans? Like, they have played terribly. Well, yeah, last game they won, but that was with their backups. Their starters got absolutely wrecked by the Ravens on Christmas. When's the last time we saw the Texans offense play well? Honestly, this game's going to be a blowout. Next game, Eagles, Packers, also probably going to be a blowout. Eagles are going to destroy them. The Packers, I don't know if you guys have watched the Packers. They just lost to the Bears, and they were trying to win. And yeah, Love wasn't playing, but like their defense was playing. Josh Jacobs was in there. Christian Watson tore his ACL. Jaden Reed can't catch for shit. Like this, guys, this team sucks. I honestly put a parlay of literally just Chargers money line, Eagles money line. It's like the most guaranteed thing. So
I wouldn't put money on the Chargers, even though I did pick them, but just for PTSD.
from Jared's experience.
Yeah.
So Commanders, Buccaneers. Honestly, guys, I agree with all of you that the Buccaneers are going to lose this game.
I am shocked. I thought you liked the Bucks.
I do, but key stats here: the Bucks did beat them 37-20 in Week 1, but the Buccaneers, since losing Chris Godwin, they are 1-3 versus teams at or above 500. So the only games they've really won are against Saints, Panthers, Giants. Like they haven't beat any good teams.
Against good teams.
Yeah, I mean, all you have to really do is lock down Mike Evans and stop the run. Like they have nobody else to throw to. They do have McMillan, but Godwin's not there still. Look, the fight on this team is crazy. They took Jaden Daniels out so he wouldn't get hurt last week, and they still came back and beat the Cowboys with Mariota. And yeah, they did leave Ertz and McLaurin in the game, but this defense is good, and the Cowboys are no scrubs. Like their backups actually played well. Like Trey Lance played pretty well. So I like the fight on this team. They're going to win that game. Vikings, Rams. This was probably one of the tougher games because, of course, we know that Sam Darnold could struggle in the playoffs. But I think that the Vikings have been good all season. They have a bad taste in their mouth from what happened last week against the Lions. I think they're going to go into LA. And if you guys have watched in the news, with those wildfires in California, the game might not actually be played at SoFi. They have a plan B to play at State Farm Stadium in Arizona. So it might not really be a home game for the Rams. Even if it is, I think the Vikings will come out on top because the Rams, guys, they haven't been playing that well. Yeah, they've won, but their last 3 wins have been 12-6, 19-9, and 13-9. Like, this offense isn't humming like we usually see it. So for Cooper Kupp hasn't caught more than 3 passes in a game in over a month. Like, it's just not really clicking, and because of how they've been playing recently, I'm going to take the Vikings there. So that's my first round. Going to the second round in the AFC, the divisional, Chiefs are gonna beat the Chargers. The Chargers are gonna keep this close, and I think that Harbaugh is close to getting over the hump. He likes those rivalries. I think they're gonna be able to beat the Chargers in coming seasons, but not this year. Chiefs just have too much, and they have 2 weeks rest to really game plan. Ravens, Bills, I think the Ravens, probably a little bit surprising that I'm picking the Ravens, but they beat the Bills 35-10 earlier this season. The Bills' run defense is just not ready for Henry. Like, that's really what it is. Their defense is not as good. I think that Lamar is going to win this game, go to the AFC Championship. On the NFC side, I do have the Lions beating the Commanders, like you and Jared and Jonathan have. I do have the Vikings, so I'm the only person so far to have Vikings beating the Eagles. I think the Vikings are going to be able to win. They do have a good defense. Darnold's actually been playing well. I think he'll be able to continue to play well. They are the second best team in the NFC. And the Eagles, while they are good, Jalen Hurts, it doesn't really help that he's missed games. And yeah, I think he's going to play in round 1, beat the Packers, and he's going to play in round 2, but he doesn't really have momentum. When's the last time he threw a pass to A.J. Brown? It was over 2 weeks ago, and it's just seeming like this offense, it might not click how it should. And the Vikings have one of the best run defenses in the league, so if you want to stop the Eagles, you're going to have at least a good run defense. So I have them rematching, actually 2 great rematches in the championship games, Chiefs and Ravens. Everybody remembers that Isaiah Likely touchdown that almost tied the game, or was it a 2-point conversion? Something that was going to tie the game, but his toe was out of bounds. I think the Chiefs will still win, even though they've been getting lucky with close games. I still think they're going to win because, look, guys, the NFL wants this to happen. The best storyline for this season, I know it's a little bit chalky, but the Chiefs playing the Lions, the three-peat on the line in the Super Bowl, plus the Lions, the best story of the NFL season this year. I'm pretty confident that it's going to be Chiefs versus Lions in the Super Bowl. I do have the Lions beating the Vikings again. They pretty much dominated them, and they're going to beat them for a 3rd time this season in the NFC Championship. And I think it's going to be a great game, Lions-Chiefs. But at the end of the day, I'm a fan of Dan Campbell and the Lions and how they've been playing. And I think I like his aggressiveness. They're going to need it because when you guys look at the Chiefs, we always see the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We always want the team to take a risk. No, just go for it on 4th and goal. Go for it, like fake a punt or do whatever. And the Lions have the guts to do that. They're going to pull out tricks out of their back pocket, and I think they're going to win this game. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be close. It's going to come down to the last freaking 10 seconds of the game. But like Jonathan said, Dan Campbell's going to pull stuff out of his ass, and this is going to be high scoring. This game might be the best Super Bowl game in NFL history, like 42 to 45 or something crazy like that. Yeah. It's going to be so fun. So I hope it happens. Even if the Chiefs win, I won't be pissed. I'd rather not see them win, but I'd love to see this matchup because it's going to be so offensive. It's going to be so fun to watch. And yeah, Lions, I think, are going to finally do it. In my opinion, watching the NFL this season, the Lions are the best team. And Jonathan, I agree. I just can't see anybody stopping this offense. And it's kind of weird to say that from an offense run by Jared Goff, but this team is seriously good. He's thrown 5 interceptions in a game, and they still won the game against the Texans. But what's funny is that he also threw 5 touchdowns in a game and lost the game to the Bills. So they have very high highs and very low lows, but I think they're going to put up a fight either way. This team has heart, they have grit, they have everything you need to win a Super Bowl, and I think they're going to get it done this season.
Do you think, like last year, Dan Campbell's aggressiveness was the Lions' demise, but now his aggressiveness now it's a strong suit?
Yeah, I mean, so what happens when you make a big mistake like that? He's going to be a little bit more careful about it, but I don't necessarily think the amount of times he's going to take chances is going to decrease by that much. I think that more so it's just the team and the vibe around the team, and I think that it could go either way. Like if we were sitting here last year and that play call that he made to go for it, worked, we'd be like, oh my gosh,
he's
like
a genius.
He's a genius. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's gonna come down to like a 4th and 3 or 4th and 4 that he's gonna have to they're gonna have to make it. So we're going to see if that happens or not, but I have confidence in this team based on all the weapons they have. I mean, when you think about it, they could do anything they want. David Montgomery seems like he's coming back. Hutchinson might come back, and I think he will for the Super Bowl, even if he doesn't play all the snaps. But you could do a jet sweep to Jamison Williams. You could do a hook and ladder play like they did Amon-Ra to Jamison for a 40-yard touchdown. You could put Jamison on a go route. You still have Tim Patrick, who just comes out of nowhere catching a couple touchdowns. Laporta, Amon-Ra's just slot merchants, already selling his slot merchant merch. And then Gibbs is probably one of the best, if not the best. Maybe Saquon's the best running back in the league right now, but Gibbs is definitely him. Henry and Saquon are right there. So no concerns on my part. If the Lions lose, it's going to have to be like some miraculous play that some team beats them on. It's going to have to be like a Hail Mary or a crazy field goal. You're going to have to get lucky to beat the Lions.
It's a game of inches, for every team. I like what you said about the Lions, like the boldness. I don't know if you guys watched the Vikings game, but the way I don't know, you got to be bold to beat the best. And you having them, if it plays out the way you have it, John, the pattern, and Jared, you alluded to it. Like if the bravery works out last year, he's a genius, Point being, Lions are still the Lions, Campbell's still himself. Like, if you're going to beat the best, you got to be bold, and you got to be unapologetically, your identity. And that team is still them. And I mean still, because they're one of the most wounded teams in the NFL in terms of, percentage of day one starters that are, on the bench for whatever reason. They're one of the most wounded. Now, I will say, when the Eagles won, we were historically as well, in terms of starters out, people count you out. And what it points to, I think, kind of what the stats don't show, is what you're saying, is that they're still a fundamentally good team with high highs and low lows, and that shows they're well coached and these things. And going to the Vikings games again, I just saw a team compared to the Vikings going for it on 4th out of identity, out of, Kevin O'Connell's been a great coach, and they might very well do great things, but sometimes, I'm not saying this is fully the Vikings, but sometimes you can be too smart that you're not aggressive. You overthink it. You do buy the book, what's right, that you don't have the gut feeling. And I think Campbell's, it's a game of inches, and he's still going to be himself. Now, you don't want to be aggressive because that's your reputation. You got to be aggressive because it's the right moment. It calls for it, and you're not afraid. Yeah. But I think other coaches are so by the book that it's you're too smart to be aggressive, which is a silly way of saying it. But you know what I mean? The Lions are still doing stuff like that, even as a lot of their starters are out, and they've if anything improved. Their defense has improved this season.
Yeah, it looks like, depending on how all of our brackets go, but say let's go by John's bracket, they don't really face a Super Bowl winning coach until the Kansas City Chiefs come up. So
the only possibility is if the Bucks and the Eagles both win.
Yeah,
they could play against Stafford. That would be the worst case scenario for them to play the Rams, because that's. I mean, they did beat them last year, but the Rams have been very good.
I just fear that Campbell all the time is so aggressive that smarter people and smarter coaches on the other side will play into that and bait him into doing stuff, kind of like how Shanahan did with him last year. It's just
they should have won the Super Bowl last year.
It's you almost you know what he's gonna do before the 4th down comes, so you can prepare for it. And in a sense, the Lions think, oh, we're being unexpected by going for it on 4th down, but really, the 49ers were expecting the unexpected, and that's how every team that faces the Lions is going to feel. And when it's Chiefs-Lions, it's going to be very close. Andy Reid, I think, and Spagnuolo, I just feel like I would put the edge towards them in that scenario. But what about the Vikings-Rams? Because I like how you had the Vikings go far, because I had to really find stuff for Vikings-Rams, because the Vikings and the Rams both satisfied the criteria for me, and so it was very, very tough. I had to just kind of go off of other aspects of the game. But what do you see?
I'm so bitter about
commentary.
you. I'm so bitter about you and your benchmarks and the Eagles.
I know. But look, see, John did it too, so you can yell at both of us.
He said it differently, though.
I kind of eased him into it. You were just like, oh, they hit the benchmarks, but I'm just not going to put them in. I don't know why. Caleb's like, why? Like,
I gave you reasons, Caleb. You didn't listen. I yelled upon deaf ears. What were your biggest reasons for Vikings over Rams? Because that's close. I mean, you got Stafford, but Darnold, Darnold's not that great of a quarterback.
No, I think the biggest worry for me putting the Vikings in the NFC Championship is Darnold. Like, I mean, we can all see it happening, like him just folding and throwing like 3 interceptions. Now, I just don't think that the Rams are like quote unquote rolling right now, like winning games by like 12-9, 12-6, 13-9. Like, I don't even know. Like, I don't see Cooper Kupp disappeared. Like, for them to like flip a switch and play against the Vikings, who are a very good defense. Like, we all know they're a very good defense. Like, for them to flip a switch like that and just get everything rolling right away, for me, it's going to be tough. And I think the Vikings have a bad taste in their mouth from last week, only putting up 9 points against the Lions. They want to play against the Lions again. They want another chance at that, and I think they're going to get it and still lose. But I think they're going to be able to go into LA and still do it. Look, they won 14 games this year. They won a lot of games on the road. They won a lot of games that people didn't expect them to. I don't think that there's any case where they're going to get blown out in this game. It's going to be at least close.
Do any of you guys worry about Goff? I personally look at Goff and Darnold, and I remember we did the QB game where it's like we were so thankful to have Goff as our number one. Like Darnold. Like he certainly outperformed what a lot of people imagined. There was that quote by Belichick that was like, it seems like only the Jets, only the Panthers didn't want these guys that then go on to do great things. But with Darnold and Goff, their high highs are so high, yet their low lows are low. That part of what you were saying, like you put Darnold in there, it's like more recency of like he's been worse more recently, so like maybe it's gonna happen. And I don't think it will for either. But do you guys feel that with Goff at all?
Yeah, for sure.
Not Goff. Goff.
No,
he's a real.
For you, Jonathan?
Also, like he's been doing it. He's been rocking it since he's on the Rams. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about Goff, honestly.
I mean,
dude,
you guys remember that pick in the
Super Bowl?
Remember that pick in the Super Bowl against Brady's team? Like one of the cornerbacks was like, I can't believe Goff threw that. You guys remember
lowest
that moment?
Scoring Super Bowl?
Lowest scoring, and I think Goff has it in him, but it's like Darnold, Goff. I include Cousins in there, like these quarterbacks that have strong fundamentals, but just sometimes it's like, and when the lights are brightest, will they do it or not? And sometimes they've done it, and sometimes they haven't.
I haven't sensed that from Goff. I understand what you're saying, Cousins and
like they're Darnold. In that similar. I mean, maybe that's just, but you know what I mean. Like in terms of vibe.
I would agree with that. I think Goff's probably my more confident out of those three because of the fact that he's been to the Super Bowl.
Okay,
but I could see where you would think that.
But he has made it, like you said. Like he has been clutch enough to get to the big stage. So
right.
All right, Caleb.
Let's do it.
The best for last.
Caleb, statistically,
the best for last.
He's gonna put the Eagles. Talk about somebody else biased. This one,
Eagles Chiefs.
Yeah, I can't even say anything about the Eagles. All right, here we go. Caleb's bracket. Here we go.
Put money on this.
Oh! What a shock!
Oh,
Eagles
wow.
and Bills.
Okay.
Yep. Chiefs don't win a game.
This is really coming from the heart. This is coming from the heart.
I had them winning last year, the Chiefs.
Now I feel bad because you put them so far, dude. I feel so bad. Now I know why you were getting mad at me.
Now, to be fair, you might say bias, and maybe there's some part of it that's right. Last year I had the Eagles losing against the Bucks, and I was right. The energy has changed, but we'll get to that.
When's the last time you've seen a team have friction among themselves and win the Super Bowl? Because AJ Brown and Hurts were having some little beef, right?
Patriots, every year there was a controversy. Deflategate, every year there was something that the Brady had to deal with.
That's a good one. They were pretty good. They were pretty good, Jonathan.
I'm talking about internal strife among teammates. That's what I mean.
Aaron Hernandez.
That's a pretty. They also dealt with that. Yeah, you're.
Anything you could think of, this team overcame it. That's why I said Brady and Mahomes. You just gotta throw out stats.
Yeah, I mean the Chiefs with Kadarius Toney that season, then he cut him the season after. I mean that must have been awkward. You know, he got his ring, but.
All right, go through this, please.
Yeah. For those who are listening, I'll go through my AFC wild card between the Broncos and the Bills. I have the Bills. Should I explain as I go, or?
Yeah, I mean, if you think it's gonna be a blowout,
I guess I'm the most different. So yeah, I guess I'll give a little context. I think the Bills are hot. Last year, I was saying at some point, Allen's got to make it to there, and that's not the only reason. I just think with the rookie quarterback, the Broncos have the fundamentals to look very positively to the future. But I think the Bills are years ahead of them in that sense. Like, this was what we said about years ago about the Bills. Bills are already there. Broncos, I'm not going to rule it out because the Bills cannot underestimate anybody with their franchise history. But I will have the Bills for that one. I think the Steelers and Ravens, we all had this, which makes me worried. As well as, we forget Mike Tomlin's a great coach. And they have beaten each other, one-on-one, I think, this season. Ravens and Steelers. I do have the Ravens because Lamar has been that good. I've seen him will teams to victory. I think they can do it, as well as will we really see Wilson, and the Steelers or Fields? Like, that is a unique scenario, and it doesn't happen very often. I know with the Eagles won, it was Foles and Wentz, but it wasn't like Wentz was still there, So I wonder if that, I don't know, in history, when there's two leaders of a single entity, it's kind of interesting. Now, Wilson's a bona fide leader, but is he the guy? I'd say Ravens would have that edge on that. Chargers, Texans, I do agree with what you guys said. I like the Chargers more. Texans are a great team, but just the injuries, man. The target's been on their backs, and there's been a bit of a sophomore slump. I got the Chargers for that one. Moving to the NFC wildcard round. Packers, Eagles, rematch of week 1. I won't underestimate them either, but I do think the Eagles have the edge for all the reasons I'll get more and more into as we progress through this. Packers, you cannot underestimate them after what they did to the Cowboys. Eagles, please don't do that.
Yeah, do not pull a Cowboys.
Because they got a legit team.
No,
they got
I'm underestimating.
They got a strong offensive-minded coach.
This year.
But this year, teams are aware of what they did to the Cowboys. I think the Eagles will do well in that one, I hope. And they're not placing the Bucks. For some reason, Baker and the Bucks just does well against the Eagles. It's like he's our foil. But we don't, in my bracket, we don't face him. Not that it's just a happy accident. Because I'd tell you, if it was the Bucks, I would actually have a lot more consternation, let's say. Okay. A vocabulary word. I hope I use that right. Commanders and Bucks. I do have the Commanders. John expounded on it really well. I like Jaden Daniels. I think the energy in the building is different. New owner, new coaching, new regime. Like for years, that team in this division with the NFC East, they've just historically been terrible. I know they had a year or two here or there, dark horse, whatever. Now I think the whole franchise in a different direction. Good for them. We want good competition.
The bad man's gone.
The bad man is gone. So I think that energy will take them to a victory. And it's like, yeah, we're on good footing. We got the right guy. And I think the Bucks, as well as they have done, I think that the Commanders just match it better whole way around. And plus, it'll be, you guys know they match up with, I think, Lattimore and Evans in that.
Oh.
So
that is popcorn. Get your popcorn ready.
So we might see
about that.
Because I was going to say the Commanders have McLaurin, they have Evans, but if it's Lattimore, Evans, either there's going to be it's going to be either battle the whole game or ejections.
Yeah, they're going to.
Oh yeah.
Which means Evans is a huge part, right? So. That's going to be interesting for that game, for that little tangent.
Hands will be thrown.
To keep peace.
Chains
this
will
is
be
an NFL game. It
Yep.
gets intense.
Yep. Okay, good one, Caleb.
So I will have the Commanders for that. Vikings and Rams is a tough one because the Vikings deserve a lot of respect. They're a good team, and I like Darnold a lot. I think he'll do well. But Puka, Kupp, and the Rams this year, it was a few years ago they won the Super Bowl, and I know I commended them for kind of going all in on their giving away all their draft picks to get and win now. I like that mentality. And the narrative was like, oh, they're gonna win now and then suck for years after. And it's like there was a year or two, a little bit of that, But what a new narrative has formed is like, yo, they're actually a good franchise, well-run team. McVay's good, and I think Stafford's done it. He's proven it. And even when he won the Super Bowl, I was saying like, don't underestimate this guy. I know he was on the Lions who at the time for years were terrible, but he was a shining star. I mean, terrible's quote, 'cause they put up records and fantasy numbers and all these other things. But he's the guy, and I think that guy of Stafford will just outcompete with the Rams and company over the Vikings, unfortunately. And I think the Vikings will have some questions about McCarthy, Darnold. I mean, we saw Darnold in a must-win game recently, and I don't want to say because you have done this, you will always do this, but it's like what I was saying earlier about Goff and Darnold. All right, for divisional, Chargers, Chiefs. This is the big one. Herbert made his debut against the Chiefs, and that was when no one expected anything of him. And it was, history making in a sense of maybe they lost, maybe they won, but it was like the needle went into the
haystack.
What was the starter's name for Herbert?
Justin Herbert?
No. Remember Herbert was the backup, and he wasn't supposed to play against
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor. Yeah, just going deep in the bag. But I just think more so, I think Herbert's improved. I think the team is better, and I think for me when I was choosing it, it's just for all the reasons we've said all season. Like, yeah, you can't underestimate Mahomes, but they're in the low 20s every week, and it's like, can the Chargers are around that, and they have more experience at that level, and I think it'll more come down to Harbaugh versus Reed, and will Reed make a mistake? I don't think we'll look at Mahomes, but we'll look at seeing how number 15 was failed by the whole team. Like, why haven't they had players that got them over 20-ish points? Why did they lose 38-0 with their DT? I mean, it's like, that game didn't matter. That might not be fair, but my point being, I think it's going to be Harbaugh. Like, I think Jared, you were saying, like, those rivalries, I think that's going to be one Harbaugh wants. I think it's going to be a coaching masterclass from I picked, I needed an upset. Chargers, I mean, the Chiefs are trying to do something that's never been done before. For me, I think it's going to be, this will put Mahomes, I'm fumbling my words here because I don't want to hate too strongly. I'm not a hater of Mahomes and the Chiefs, although a little bit.
It's okay to hate some.
They're suffering from success. If they win so much, you hate them. But my point being, like, with Mahomes, I feel like Brady beat him twice. Once on the Patriots, once in the Super Bowl. And it's like, that's, if the GOAT debate's there, that's a huge question mark. That's like, we don't have to wonder whether it was all-time greatest for all-time great from two different eras. Like, they played each other, and Brady got his number twice. Now, if Mahomes does a three-peat that's never been done before, and that's something Brady never did, that's something where I'm like, all right, that's like, you can compare something that's like, that's something Brady never did.
So you want Mahomes to lose.
Well, then I'd start to accept more of that argument, because if Mahomes has been on this trajectory like no one else. Like, he in terms of comparing to Brady, that's already his for now. If he does the three-peat, that's something Brady never did. Now, then that's a counter argument to what I'm saying about Brady, like, in that Super Bowl. I rewatched some of the highlights of that Super Bowl. Chiefs got destroyed. It was such a
it wasn't
and it was first. Yeah, but it was Brady's first year on a new team after a dynasty with.
He recruited so much talent. It's like NIL. He got out.
Never been done before though. Like, everyone thought, like, oh, well, he leaves Belichick. It's like, now it's his time to prove it, and he's done it. It's like, and then you see Rodgers do it and not be able to do it. You know what I mean? Like,
but that's not fair though.
But then on the Patriots, they beat him from the playoffs, and they went on. And then they changed the rules, rightfully so. My point being, on two different teams, Brady has been the barrier from this guy to getting 2 more Super Bowls.
And he's always had the best team, the better team, right? Tom Brady's always had
But that's the nuance. It's like either a win or loss. That's like, but my point being.
Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes.
That Chiefs offense was the best we've ever seen.
You guys know what I'm saying? Like,
dude, you had Tyreek Hill with Kelce. How do you even beat that?
Gronk, Antonio Brown, great defense.
They're old.
Oh no.
Yeah, they were all washed. They weren't.
Dude, they had Evans,
Leonard Fournette. They weren't washed.
Evans was in his prime.
But it shows how Brady elevated.
The
Chiefs
Chiefs beat them earlier in the season. Right. Remember when Tyreek had 200 receiving yards in the first quarter?
Just like the Bills always beat the Chiefs and always end up losing in the playoffs.
My point being, like, if you're going to compare GOATs, like, that's a barrier that's there.
He always comes back.
I mean, you always have something to say.
I wanted something different. I think Harbaugh will potentially outcoach Reed, but I know betting against Mahomes and the Chiefs is a bad idea. I'm willing to concede that I'm still locking in the Chargers, but I'm like, I wanted to change it up because the unexpected has to happen. Rarely does it always go the way we expect. Then that leaves the Bills and the Ravens. Both these guys, the MVP debate, whatever. I believe the Ravens majorly outclassed the Bills when they played each other.
35-10.
Yes. Now, were they hiding plays? What was going on there? I don't know. I will think, will the narrative for the Bills with Allen turning over less and it's hard to beat a team again, I think the Bills will. I think it's their year. I think he can do it. Now it's a similar energy. He got engaged to a major celebrity, Haley Steinfeld. Congratulations.
Wait,
Engage Josh Allen.
Wait, what?
Engage Josh
And
Allen.
will engage Josh Allen,
Yeah.
be the X variable that will put him over these other teams.
Wait,
He's
Josh Allen's
dangerous.
he's engaged?
Yeah. To Haley Steinfeld. Good actress.
When did that happen?
Like a month ago.
Yeah, and he's been balling ever since. People were like, "Yo, statistically, he's
Engage Josh Allen.
Oh, I hope he loses now.
Lethal.
Oh God.
no."
Do you hate this man?
I'm just,
You are the biggest Josh Allen hater.
Didn't he
I've
just
ever
get out of yes, I was Russian. Didn't he just get out of a relationship like this past summer? You know, remember that?
What? Are
No.
you talking about? Are you talking about rushing relationships?
No, he's going faster than me. He's going
No,
faster
he's
than
not. You're going faster than him.
I thought he just had some issue during before the season. I was like, oh, this is gonna.
I don't think so. I think maybe you're like, you have to hate him. So
I mean,
you make him-
you and
Ex,
you and
his
it.
ex. I'm sure you Google it.
she was allegedly.
Chat, Google it. She was hacked.
She was hacked.
He was hacked. That's what they all say.
He's been playing really well, and he was in an interview being like, and again, I don't like to bring up personal lives, but like, congratulations. But he was saying like, yeah, like being in a good relationship will heighten your abilities. You know, as we saw with Travis Kelce last year, maybe the NFL will pull some strings to make it so we want to see this year. We want the ratings to be high again. That's kind of just talking.
Nobody knows the actor. People know Taylor Swift. Nobody wants to see Haley Steinfeld.
No, she's a singer. She's
For
not a
you mean
bad
for
singer.
football fans? Like maybe they don't, but that's my point. Like
Yeah. Who is
I don't know.
she?
I think with the Ravens bill, it's going to be a shootout. It's going to Haley Steinfeld.
Yeah, like what did she do?
She's
She
a
was in
singer and actress.
She's a multi hyphenate. They say
Oh.
she's an Arcane voice actress. If you know the Bumblebee movie, she was one of the support. She was in Emily Dickinson on
She
Apple
was in,
TV.
what's that?
Spider-Verse.
What's the
Pitch
singing?
Perfect.
Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, Edge of 17, I think. She's good. I don't think this correlates to his football
Yeah,
ability.
I was curious.
My point being, I think the Ravens and Bills have played each other.
Sorry. I'm just saying.
What?
He said it elevates your play because you didn't have a relationship. So
That's my wording of what I saw in a headline that he had said. So this is like third level hearsay. But in a game of inches, I have the Bills for this year. I just think last year I was saying like Peyton Manning for his first number of years was statistically amazing, but the narrative was he can't win in the playoffs or can't get to the promised land. And that's kind of been the story with Allen. I think at some point he's going to make it. So I think that's...
You're gonna try. Watch. I can't wait to see it. I'm just gonna
We'll
be
see.
sad. It's just like they're gonna create a documentary on this. Josh
Jonathan,
Allen.
you say this
20 years
every,
from now,
you say this
I
every
had it all in
year.
my hands.
To be
We're
fair,
the best
Jonathan's
team.
been right in that regard.
You
But
say it every year. You're like, I can't wait until it happens.
Yeah, because this we're witnessing history. This is gonna be a documentary in 20 years from now. Josh Allen's gonna think about
How
he
they
never
won
Super Bowl.
5 years straight.
The best
to
that never was.
basketball.
The documentary is going to be the best that never was. Josh Allen and the Bills. And he's going to say, we had it all there. We always beat the Chiefs in the regular season and,
couldn't get past
couldn't
that
get past
wall.
just like the Buffalo Bills in the 90s. 4 straight Super Bowls, not winning one. Not one.
That comes
wide
into
left.
play.
Right? Was it wide right or right left?
I mean,
like
it
last
was
2
a
years
number
ago.
of times, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, man.
Sadly, I have a lot of Buffalo fans. I know we've gotten a lot of tangents, Talking about acting, you see Jerry Jones's acting, Jonathan?
Yeah, that was funny.
He's actually good.
He's like, I had no idea. Right. We all knew.
He was actually good at that scene, and
He's good. Yeah.
He's like, he had that southern drawl, and he had a deep voice. I'm like, wow, Jerry Jones might be a better actor than general manager.
He's like, now those incentives are there for the team, and he's gotten plenty of that during the season, but I had no idea. No, come on. You all knew.
That acting, yeah, maybe he's used to it, is what you're saying. So we're on the divisional. On the NFC side, Commanders versus Lions. I have the Lions. As good as the Commanders are, I think the Lions, for all the reasons you guys have said, will get past that. Eagles, Rams, they have played as recently as like the 25th, and the Eagles came away with it. They had a great showing against them. I respect the Rams a lot, but the Eagles, I think, pair up well. The Rams are respectable, but the Eagles' defense has been statistically one of the best in the league, and has been such a comfort as an Eagles fan, because for years, even in the Super Bowl run that we won, our pass defense bled, and somehow we won the Super Bowl, you know? So it's nice to see corners,
Quinny on Mitchell.
yeah, like lock up people and have a middle linebackers that are showing up and doing the job. And it's like, it's fun to have these guys on defense that are, I mean, we've won games before, made it to the playoffs before, but now we have like like it doesn't get a lot of media attention, the defense, and how much that Fangio's really, you know, at the start of the season, I was like, wow, why is he bounced from team to team? Not bounce, but it's like he's been in the league for a while. Why don't we know him the way we know Spagnuolo and stuff? And maybe that question will show its head, but I think he's been amazing, and it's been really surprised me. So I think that Eagles defense will be able to do what they did about 2 months ago, so, you know, against the Rams again, and come away with it. On the AFC, it'd be the Bills versus Chargers. Chargers have made it this far. Unfortunately, I think the Bills, it's their year. I think the Chargers being run heavy and having a lower ceiling of points, similar to the Chiefs, and maybe the reasons why they could beat a team like the Chiefs, the Bills will outgun them. And I think it, you know, because the Allen can will the team to do it. Same way Lamar does, but the sum of the parts, I think the Bills can do that against the Chargers. Chargers have a good future ahead of them. It's the first year with Harbaugh. I think that'll be, you know, as the team gets more and more in his image, they might contend better, but I think the Bills make it to the Super Bowl. Then it'd be the Lions versus the Eagles. I think if we're at the stage, and I'm right, America wants the Lions because they're sick of the Eagles. I mean, I know Eagles fans, we have a deserved reputation, and they're gonna. But and the narrative will be like, "Oh, Lions team this year has been so emotional," and it'll parallel how people felt about the Vikings when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, the Minnesota Miracle. It's like, "Oh, they deserve it. This is the story. How great they win it in the last second, and they make it." And unfortunately, I think the fundamentally better team, which is the Eagles, on the rushing and passing and that defense, will be able to get pressure on Goff, make those receivers uncomfortable. I think it'll be a shootout, but I think the fundamentals that have made them this far, the Eagles are just so well-rounded, and this is the Lions' first year with like a stronger defense, and the percentage of players that are injured on the Lions, Eagles might be able to counter that in smarter ways than other teams, and with the capability to do so. So I give the Eagles the edge.
Don't get me wrong.
The Lions have so many starters out, sadly.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. The Eagles are a great, versatile team in terms of offense, but the Lions are just on a different level, man. With the Gibbs,
but what level?
Williams,
Like
and Amon-Ra, like
Amon-Ra versus Brown, maybe.
Jalen Hurts can't pass like consistently throughout the game to
would you take
Hurts
passing or Goff passing?
Goff.
Honestly, Goff this year.
Yeah, Goff this year. I watched the entire game, the basketball games.
Yeah,
These guys
Jonathan's right. If the Lions go up by like 2 touchdowns, like I don't know if the Hurts. Like I haven't seen it this season. I don't know if he can come back.
Well, either you shut down Barkley, and this is if Barkley's healthy, but I will say teams would. I think teams are hyper focusing on Barkley.
That's a big point.
Barkley has outperformed my greatest expectations. I'm happy about it. He's been healthy. He's been phenomenal. But I think teams forget that we made the playoffs without a Barkley last year, and a lot of that core team of the offensive line, Hurts himself, the receivers were still a threat last year.
Well, you had Darius Slay.
Yeah,
we
improved, if anything.
You're gonna need AJ Brown and Devontae Smith.
The Eagles can beat in a lot of different ways, and our defensive players have been shutting down people at ridiculous levels. That I think is what's under the radar. Like people just don't know these defensive players in the Eagles.
I mean, the Lions are more dynamic than, let's say, if you faced the Vikings, you could just put Quinny on Mitchell on Jefferson, and then maybe, okay, that slows him down. Now you just worry about Addison. But are you going to put Quinny on Mitchell in the slot where he hasn't played as much?
I think the Eagles played no, they didn't play the Vikings. But
you got the white cornerbacks.
Them cornerbacks.
The exciting whites.
Locking down.
You think Cooper DeJean can slow down
and Reed
Amon-Ra?
Blankenship?
He got beat recently, didn't he?
Yeah, he got flamed.
Yeah, it's possible, but they didn't give up a touchdown for one of those guys. Didn't give up a touchdown against like the repertoire of the top receivers on like 7 different teams, and they didn't kept him to like 5 yards. Maybe guys better than Amon-Ra, and I love Amon-Ra. I've had him in quite a few fantasy leagues. But and again, offensives always have the advantage. The Eagles are not talking about the defense that has improved drastically.
You got two. They have too many players.
Well,
man.
let's let him finish.
Okay,
He's
okay,
got
sorry.
one. He's just got the Super Bowl to talk about, and, then,
Bills,
and we'll go
Eagles.
back at him.
Bills, Eagles. I think fundamentally that Eagles defense will strangle slowly over time because I don't know if it'd be a shootout, but I think it'll be a chess match, and I think the capacity of that defense will limit the Bills, and the Eagles can beat you in like a hydra, like a different ways. Like either it's Barkley that you have to deal with, same way you have to deal with Derrick Henry of the Ravens, Brown, Smith, Goddard. These guys, and Hurts himself being a rusher, the same way that Allen is. So and I think Hurts can throw. Now people have brought up, maybe rightfully so, some of Hurts' mistakes, but it's like if it's Allen versus Hurts and who makes a mistake or not, I think the Eagles have come back to them. I mean, Hurts threw a pick, I think, against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and we still came back from an 8-point deficit to tie it at the very least. Now we lost, but we came back 8 points. So it's
Fumbled.
like, right. So it's like that can still happen, and that's where it's like a game of inches. This can happen near or there, but people forget how close that game is, and I believe maybe this is the bias, but no quarterback. If we're talking about Goff getting back there, no, I think it's like what the stat. No quarterback in their first time going to the Super Bowl who loses ever goes back and wins. It's never been done before.
Really?
I need Hurts to be the first.
Wait, no, that'll definitely change because Burrow went there and lost. So
That's what
and
you
he
think,
might-
and-
like
Burrow has missed the playoffs twice. This guy's done.
That's my
Guys,
point.
come
Like,
on.
if that's the stat, I'm pretty
And
sure
they're
I'm saying it
losing
right.
T.
His
Higgins.
window's closed.
Yeah, they're close.
What?
I'm not gonna go that far. I think they
Dude,
need
him
to-
and Chase are in their prime, and they got their prime for the next 3 years.
This
what
is
do you
their
mean?
prime. They missed the playoffs.
You guys
No,
are
I'm
on.
not.
You
No,
guys
no.
are on something. Oh,
Don't include me in that because they're still. I think they need to. I think they need to stop losing the first handful of games every year.
yeah,
and dealing
Watch
with this
Burrow.
every year.
You know what? Burrow's gonna win MVP next year.
I mean, he low key.
Without
There's
T.
arguments about
Higgins?
him.
No, they're re-signing T, guys.
Okay.
I mean, people said about Allen losing Diggs. Like, oh, can he win MVP this year? And the fact that he's in the conversation, you know.
Yeah, it is impressive, actually.
It's because he just runs. That's it.
But then it's like, well, that's why Hurts isn't. You know.
Second in QBR. You like that stat.
There's
You like that.
I-
You like that. Like that.
If I go
You
back
like
and
that.
analyze the stats in the film, I'm telling you, I trust my instincts. I usually trust my instincts in terms of these players and teams. Okay, there's something wrong with the Bills. Anyway, sorry, Caleb.
Okay, for Bills, Eagles in the Super Bowl, I've got the Eagles. I've expanded on it. Defense, all around team. I think Allen. It's not a given, but I think America will want the Bills because it's their time. You know, finally,
America
Allen's
wants
made
Bills.
it.
Yeah, you're right.
But I think the kind of under the radar stuff that doesn't get a lot of media attention of the fundamentals of the Eagles will get them the victory.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for watching and listening to our podcast, our playoff podcast. We'll be back probably next week to discuss the wild card games.
Guys, comment
fun.
down below. Comment whose bracket is the best.
Yeah, please.
I already know you want to say John, but just put it in the comments.
come
Be
on.
unbiased.
Jonathan's always right.
Unbiased. Like, who do you actually
The person
think?
that picked one of the best,
Guys,
the person
I'm
that picked the winner,
no.
the last 2 seasons. Okay? The last 2 seasons, I picked the winner.
Wait, no, because you owe. No, wait. The last year you
Yes.
said Cowboys.
No, I said Chiefs.
I think he did.
See how he's trying to twist it up?
Wait,
had
did-
the
wait, hold on.
Such a liar.
No,
Yeah, I
you
know.
had
He said
to-
Chiefs.
Dude, there's no
All right,
way.
chat.
There's no way. I'm
Thank
gonna
you
go
for
check.
tuning in.
I'm going to. You want to end this? You want to end it now?
Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and listening. And as always, we will see you guys next week.